YouTube is Rico, man. I'm back with another video. Y'all see what we got going on. It's called why Keef Sabotaged his career on purpose. Now, before we even get started, if you're brand new to the channel or you've been watching videos on the channel but for some reason not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. We're on the grind to 5K subscribers. We're currently at 1,200. So for y'all that's been watching or not subscribed yet and stuff like that, and then you're brand new to the channel, hit that subscribe button now, as well as leave a like and comment on the video to help this video get recommended out to a larger, newer audience of people, and hopefully bring them in as supporters to the channel and take your friends and family and so on and so on. Let them know about us, and hopefully they also become new supporters of the channel as well. And other than that, it's about the time to get started, so I'm gonna start the screen record. That started, and we starting the video now.
I dare y'all to name another rapper outside of like Drake or Ye with their influence on sound that has influenced a whole bunch of rappers recently to sound like them.
I can't, because all the rappers sound like each other. I don't know.
But you agree with him on Keef's
100%.
How influential he is.
100%. That's not to be questioned.
I'm the most influential artist in hip hop. Chief Keef, definitely. I remember that. I remember, like, that's another one too. I remember, like, they didn't, on the front, I had got it, and on the front, it wasn't even really like his picture, but like everybody else. I remember that. Like, I remember that. We was looking through it, he had all the photos, but yeah, he definitely influential.
Just listen to a lot of like Chief Keef.
Word.
Yeah.
You love Chief Keef.
Yeah. Bro, hard. That's like who I looked up to.
Chief Keef is an underrated rapper. Who don't?
And I definitely say, yeah, man, Chief Keef definitely a big inspiration, just as a lot of these other rappers like Lil Wayne and Drake and all of them. It's a lot of influences. I don't know why it's so hard for people to just admit that a lot of these rappers do got a lot of influence on what's going on in music today and stuff. It don't always have to be the best lyrical rapper, the most mainstream rapper, etc., etc. It's still a lot of people that's not always in the mainstream, or just literally not really doing shows and stuff to the point where they're, I don't know, I wouldn't even say doing shows, because Chief Keef still do shows and stuff. But long story short, what I'm trying to say is Chief Keef ain't even the most known artist, let alone the most famous inspirational artist out right now, and he's still getting a lot of credit and recognition pretty much as being an influence to the new sound that's going on. We're hearing a lot more drill, a lot more artists trying to start out do drill, all type of stuff, going crazy with drill right now. So definitely Chief Keef is one of those pioneers for that alone. But other than that, they definitely speaking the truth right now.
Get as much attention or as much credit as he deserves, you know. A lot of people build their sound off him, and every time he get on a song, any of them, he come correct.
To the topic of Chicago, I think that it's only right here at Complex Con that we shout out Chief Keef. What does that name mean to you?
Shout out Sosa. I mean, it's just crazy to see that somebody shooting a video with their friends on their block where they from can end up, you know, being on charts and going platinum and having songs with, you know, Kanye, you know what I'm saying, everything.
Yeah, he definitely, what some people don't realize is Chief Keef definitely got a lot of features from back when he really blew up too. So he definitely went crazy once he really got on just by that I Don't Like song, and look where that went and took him, man. And that wasn't even his best song out. I think right now he got Earned It, that's got a lot of views. There's some other songs that's got hella more views, I think, than I Don't Like, but I'm not sure for sure. But he definitely got a lot of hits and stuff, so he's definitely went crazy when he started and made a new wave and stuff, and seeing all the people that hopped on it and stuff. So it's still even going on to this day, so a lot of people still rock with him too. And every time they see him, they show him love and stuff. So he definitely still got the fan base, the people that's influenced by him, that still acknowledge him and stuff, and all other type of stuff. Doing shows, selling out shows. It don't matter where he at, shows sell out. So he still got that fame and got a lot of people that really still rock with him.
And me being the music head that I was and still am, I studied the stuff. Like, music in my life for a long time.
Although all rappers love to detail their impact on a landscape influence, it can really be a double-edged sword, particularly when it arrives at an accelerated rate, taking the music that you are making with conservative goals of a better life into a world that surpasses any horizons that you may be familiar with. So when his rap career began, at the humble age of 16, Chief Keef was a young Chicagoan that was making music geared towards him and his immediate circle. Courtesy of the success of his DIY approach and the viral nature his videos provided, Keef became the gatekeeper for Chicago drill, responsible for granting its producers and his fellow MCs safe passage into the wider industry. As Chi-Town beatmaker DJ L recalled, at the time, Keef and them were the reigning faction and everybody wanted to get down with them. And I was one of them. Chief Keef came down like a monsoon. There was no way to prepare for that kind of impact. Rising to prominence before he was old enough to graduate, Englewood Sosa set a new precedent for hip-hop success to arrive in an MC's formative years. Cited as influential by everyone from the YBN crew to Juice WRLD to G Herbo, Chief's early momentum helped enshrine the business model that he stuck to for much of his career, releasing massive swaths of music through mixtapes and features, and then soon enough, the almighty soul would become a touchstone for countless stars that follow in his footsteps. I'm not gonna lie, I listened to a lot of Sosa, declared Lil Uzi Vert in 2016, before Lil Pump accredited his early inspiration to Keef and the whole different era he came with during his infamous summer with J. Cole, even to the point where his famous catchphrase, "Get it," actually came from him listening to Chicago drill rappers every time they would start a track. However, admiration for Keef is not limited to the new generation. Notoriously cynical about modern hip-hop and its uniformity and sound, Snoop Dogg had no reservations about praising Keef, stating, "I see how you're moving, man. You're moving with precision. You understand what you're supposed to be doing, and you're catering to your fans." And in the years that have followed, many others have vied for the affections of that same fan base, having once suggested that he was retiring in the face of too many sound-alikes. Keef's slang, sound, and even his trademark, ad-lib infused style has been assimilated into the wider culture. Believing that fans love him for creating mumble, Sosa is acutely aware of his impact. "I'm really out here having an influence on the vibes of the new, upcoming rappers. It's cool though, I want to keep doing that, keep influencing," he told XXL in 2017. "I came with Filthy Rich. They look at me as a person and where I came from and see it's real and I'm so young. This is like, if he can do it, they can do it." But in recent years, so much of the discourse surrounding Keef is fixated on the past, rendering both his present and future as an afterthought. Dwarfed in the shadow of his early young chop-assisted hits like I Don't Like and Love Sosa, Keef's inability to re-enter the lofty atmosphere of his hits has made him feel like a heritage act before his time, more commonly brought into the news cycle when paired with another high-profile figure, or if he's incurred another run-in with the law.
And either way, even though he ain't really out in the mainstream no more, he still got a lot of people that will pile up at his shows and stuff and still listen to his new stuff. I'm one of those people. I listen to his new stuff just because if you a real fan of that musician, it don't matter if they not out here selling platinum records and having platinum albums and all that stuff. If you been rocking with that person and you like what they was doing when they first got on, then you should be rocking with them through the whole thing. But right now, I can still say I still mess with his music. Some people it's not for them. Some people it still is for them. So I'm one of those people where it still is for me, pretty much. Still like what he doing, and he kind of staying more out of trouble now. He ain't getting into too much trouble no more, so that's a good thing. And yeah, man, the influence is still going. You seen a lot of rappers after him finally get put on at the ages of 16. Seen Baby CEO get on with Fredo back when he was still only like 14, 15. Who else? There's some other artists I'm probably gonna miss, but long story short, it's a lot of people that definitely started off their careers at a super young age, and his was one of the main ones that really just went crazy. He ended up went from making music at his granny house, making a music video and stuff, to getting features with Kanye, 50 Cent, Wiz Khalifa, Rick Ross. He got a lot of features with other people too. I can't even think of right now, but he did all of that at just 16, 17, 18 years old. So he definitely a legend for real when it comes to drill music and stuff, and being a big piece of why a lot of people are having the type of music they have out right now. So definitely shout out to him, man. But either way, right now, I still rock with him, and I know a lot of people still rock with him as well.
Or, much to Keef's annoyance, due to his previous beef with 6ix9ine, where he once claimed that it just got better and bigger after being dropped from Interscope, his real-life trajectory has differed from this confident, overly simplistic analysis of the situation. Beloved and revered as he is, we've even now reached a grim fork in the road where even dedicated Glow Gang subreddits have rationalized his doom, making his bars on Gucci Mane's Don't Lose the Load into a disheartening meme. Now,
and I forgot about Gucci, man. I don't know how I forgot about Gucci, but yeah, him and Sosa definitely did a lot of stuff too that I liked, and that was definitely a big moment too when those two did a whole album together and stuff, or mixtape, whatever you want to call it, from back, I think it was 2013, 2014, they put out a whole mixtape or whatever. So I definitely enjoyed it, but yeah, y'all definitely go check out these songs together and stuff.
after he's weathered errant recording contracts, paternity disputes, and more, Kanye's proclamation of "they steal your whole sound, that's a soundbite" on the Don't Like remix has come to represent a larger analysis of Keef's entire career, more so than his star-studded take on his signature track suggested. Rather than being given his flowers, Sosa has been cascading down the ranks to become a footnote in the modern game. Even in recent weeks, his decision to actively share Spotify's curated Best of Chief Keef playlist subliminally suggests that his days at the pinnacle of the game have elapsed. By posting retrospectively, Sosa suggests, consciously or otherwise, that the best is behind him. But then again, his intentions have never been the easiest to discern, led in large part by the impulsiveness that comes with being a young man in an industry that continues to shift and evolve. Misunderstood since the days of Love Sosa, when he had that famous soundbite in the beginning of the song that said, "People in school telling me Chief Keef ain't about this, Chief Keef ain't about that." He's eventually run into the roadblock that his fellow originators have faced. As the first of his kind, there were no case studies for him to follow. Stalked by a lengthy rap sheet, the momentum that Keef breathed into Chi-Town's drill movement left him largely condemned by his own community. City officials just be hating, he told Billboard after his concerts were canceled. They don't want to see a young black man be successful and try to do something good. Vilified by his home, his manager Idris Dykes came to his defense, but in doing so, explained part of the reason why Keef has had to contend with the lifestyle that has been an integral part of his lyrical content even when his star grew. These problems were here way before Chief Keef was popular, he said. Keef is a product of the inner city. It's an endless cycle and it's set up that way. As his shows were shut down.
And it's facts, man. A lot of artists and even the people around them will tell you, just being from the hood, the projects, etc., whatever y'all want to call them, a lot of that stuff they had to adapt to at a young age. Even if they had their parents involved in their lives, at the end of the day, once they leave their parents from outside their, I would say, attention or whatever, they get influenced by other stuff going on around them, or same thing, friends and family probably influencing them to do stuff too, because you got uncles, cousins, all type of stuff that some of them would say that they was hanging around their older cousin or uncles when they was young and they was doing street stuff, so that's how they kind of fell into it. So it's a lot of influences when it comes to a person having to go to jail a lot, getting in trouble with the law 24/7 and other stuff that's big in the streets right now. So it's a lot of influences that can happen even if they got their family that's on the good side of everything and trying to keep them on the right path, but at the end of the day, on the outside, it's a lot of stuff going on. They gotta adapt, or else they'll become another statistic and be a victim just by being from that area, etc., etc. So we even heard King Von say he didn't necessarily just join a gang or anything like that. He said he had to adapt just because if he go to the wrong neighborhood or just by walking outside or somebody can easily just get on that with him and do anything they want to him and really hurt him and stuff, even if he ain't really do anything. So that's how it kind of is nowadays. So that's about all I can say as far as getting in trouble and stuff with the law, because that's a lot of times what they always say anyway is the growing up from the hood, period.
Down to the extent that even hologram performances were outlawed, he'd eventually move to LA in an attempt to outrun the constraints of his hometown, saying, "I got away from all that unnecessary trouble. It's better out here in LA. I like living out here. I think it improved me, it changed me, and it inspired me to go somewhere bigger." But as has been the case throughout Sosa's career, he was plagued by yet another false start, preventing him from recapturing the momentum that had once catapulted him into the mainstream. After Interscope emerged victorious from the bidding war for Keef's services, the middling returns of Finally Rich, and its peak at 29 on the Hot 100, represented a faltering attempt to transition from his creativity and commercially independent space to something more corporately underpinned. As he branched out into art collecting and leaning into his vices, that debut's album title took on a new and more untoward meaning. Now that he is finally wealthy, it's felt as though he's taken his foot off the gas, relinquishing the control of hip-hop's future to other willing successors. As a result, number 29 would seem like a resounding success in comparison to the peak of 131 that his next charting effort, Bang 3, would achieve 2 years down the line. A project which, along with its sequel, would arrive during his time under the wayward guidance of Film On. Ran by Alki David, the architect behind the ill-intentioned DMX vs. George Zimmerman celebrity boxing match, the Greek entrepreneur was intrigued by the fact that Keef was one of the rare independent artists with a big following. Upon further inspection, signing Keef seemed exploitative at best, registering as a conscious effort to turn controversy into cash when Alki boasted about how his new business associate went to jail, waved a gun at a cop. He's like a crazy person. Attempting to harness Keef's energy for their gain rather than his own, it wouldn't take long before a rift would arise and Sosa's contract would suspend in November of 2015. Here, David's frustration boiled over, leading him to vent his frustrations over Keef, limiting his appeal to a wider audience, and I'm not saying he should sell out, just be more prolific. Far from an isolated incident.
And that's the thing with a lot of these record labels and stuff, man. They be trying to change the artists and stuff because they feel like what the artists did to get put on ain't enough for them to go even further. And sometimes they might be right, but sometimes, a lot of the time, shoot, we done seen a lot of artists fall victim to signing contracts with record labels because once they get put on in the contract, all of a sudden we don't really see them dropping much. They might drop something every couple of months down there, not even a full project. We talking literally just a song. So by the time they drop a song, it be months, like, since the last time they even dropped a song or a actual project before they even signed the contract with a record label and stuff. So some of them also get shelved and they don't get to put out anything at all during their contract. They don't even put out nothing worthy to talk about when they under these contracts sometimes. And I feel like Keef definitely knew what he was doing. So either way, he knew what his fans wanted, and ultimately that's what his fans really rock with still to this day is the street stuff. But y'all gotta realize too, another thing that happened as part of his career, once he moved from Chicago, got away from a lot of the stuff going on, that gave him a reason to write the stuff that he wrote back that made him big and known. He ain't really doing much of that right now because now he got a lot of money. He could do stuff more legally. He could get the amount of weed he want to get legally, no matter how much it is. Pay as much as he wants to. He still got money coming in from whatever he be doing to get his money. And he said he's still living in a nice little mansion up in LA too and everything, still to this day. So I would say he's successful. Like, he's doing literally what you can damn near asked for it to be as a rich person. Like, he's living in a mansion, got cars, got the art, the vintage arcade games, all type of stuff, his business brands, and all that good stuff, music, still to this day doing music and dropping stuff. So he's pretty much set for the rest of life if he still continue to do what he do, man. So it's nothing really we could take away from him. But yeah, like I said, the stuff that he wrote about that got him put on in the first place, he living in LA now, he ain't gotta do much of that shit no more. So that's another thing about some people possibly also fell off of his music and wave, just because he started to change up his music a little bit. But either way, you can only rap about some of the stuff you did from the past for so long, because then eventually some new stuff gotta happen for you to even make a song or whatever and stuff and dedicate it to that stuff. So it is what it is, though.
A lack of foresight has been a persistent thorn in Keef's side. At times focused to a fault, this is seen as his dismissal of a groundbreaking Apple Music deal that would have placed them at the forefront of their streaming revolution. Larry called me and said, "You're gonna be the first artist on Apple Music." And I turned it down, he told XXL in 2017, because, I just didn't do it. Instead, the accolade went to Chance the Rapper, helping to bring his fellow Chicagoan to a peak of his powers while remaining fiercely self-contained, just as Keef could have and should have been. Existing within a whirlwind, the chaos that surrounds Keef's career has rendered him incapable of capturing light.
He did a couple things that we questioned, because he did stuff where he didn't show up to meetings and stuff on time. When he was with Interscope, he didn't show up to a music video with 50 Cent, Wiz Khalifa, with that Hate Being Sober song, and then that. So, I mean, he got his reasons, so we can't really talk about too much because we don't really know all the facts behind why he turned it down. He even said it himself, "I don't know why I turned it down, I just turned it down." So some people just do stuff just because of how they feel or how they want to do stuff. So if he didn't want to be in that spotlight, like where a lot of these artists are right now, then that's on him. That's how he want to live, and that's how he want everything to be. And he still got his loyal fan base, like I said earlier. So it is what it is. So hey, if he ain't want to become bigger than what he was, it's all based off of what he wanted to do. So it is what it is.
In a bottle with the same authority that he once did. As a result, 2014's instant classic Finito may have sounded like a new beginning, but it has grown to represent the last moment where Sosa was on the path to the world domination that he'd once had within his grasp. Impeded from becoming the superstar that the majors once envisioned him as, it required the assistance of modern-day phenomenon Lil Uzi Vert to obtain his highest Hot 100 charting hit ever earlier this year. Peaking at number 19, it's hard to believe that a catchy but no less inconsequential track such as Kobe Bean is what elevated him into the public eye to a greater degree than anything he's done of his own accord in recent years. Alluding to a serious disparity between Keef's numbers and his perceived influence, his diminishing presence on the front lines would also leave wiggle room for a new hotbed of American drill to arise. Entering the pathway that Keef and fellow New Yorker Bobby Shmurda had cleared up for him, Pop Smoke's Welcome to the Party became Don't Like for a generation that may have been in their infancy as a rap lover when Keef and Young Chop were at the peak of their powers. Now, as Fabio Foreign and Jay Critch pick up their fallen comrade's baton, it feels as though the universe that Keef built is once again expanding without his consent. Spoken about in nostalgic tones before his career has truly ran its course, the goodwill that Keef has among the community means that if he wanted to make a blockbuster project that reasserted him as a force to be reckoned with, he technically could. The real question is whether the hunger for more still exists within him, or if Keef will continue to familiarize himself with the past tense rather than the present. This has been a Hip Hop Madness original. Make sure to stay.
And that's pretty much the end of the video, man. And just to give y'all the last closing thought on what's going on with him, like I said before, he's literally doing everything he wants to do and wants to happen. It's not because somebody else right now is doing anything, because right now he's been good for the past 3-4 years. Like, ever since that stuff with Alki David and Phil Mon, he's still been able to do what he wanted to do now that he's don't really do nothing with them no more. I don't even think he got a contract with them anymore anyway. So if he really wanted to, he could reassert himself with a banger that's going to literally be like I don't like, but I think he's just choosing not to just because he's more willing to live regularly, still being rich and stuff, and still drop songs here and there and stuff. And even if they don't get the type of exposure as I don't like or earned it, he really is okay with that. And yeah, he's just cool with it. So that's all I can really say. Like I said, we only know what he says, and that's it. So if you don't want to be that artist that literally is on a pedestal of a Drake or of a Lil Uzi or NBA Youngboy right now, he don't want to be. So it is what it is. Like I said, I still rock with his music and everything, and I still support what he do. So that's all I can say. But other than that, man, if you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did, make sure you leave a like, comment down below how y'all felt about everything y'all heard in this video, and don't forget to share the video as well with your friends, family, etc., and share our channel with your friends, family, etc., so that way they can see if they like the videos that we post and become supporters just like you guys. So other than that, don't forget we're on the grind to 5K. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button right now if you haven't already, and I'm gonna see y'all later on with more videos. And yeah, stay safe and see y'all later on. Peace.